Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet. Today is a very special day for me. Today I'm going to be replacing this top on my router table with a new steel one that I've had made up. So very excited today. So you're going to want to stick around and watch this. Now the reason I wanted to change this top is because whenever I'm doing long wood, if I'm just doing short pieces, it's not bad. But because of this dip, it's when I'm running wood through, and when it's long boards, like this, when I'm doing doors, for example, what happens is because there's a dip in the middle, if I'm not pushing hard on it to make sure that there's a slot all the way along, what happens is that slot in the middle can get sort of jagged. It's got humps in it. So it if you want to put glass or something flat in there, you have to kind of go in there and clean it up, and it's just not accurate. And I've measured it with my feeler gauges here. It's a little bit more than 1/16 of an inch out from end to end. So let me take a minute to show you my new router tabletop. Now this is the underside, and you can tell that because there's the clips where the plate is going to fit on. Now what I did with the underside of this, I had this manufactured for me, and it's 1/4 inch steel plate. When I got it back, I cleaned up the back and painted it because once I get this mounted, I'm not going to be able to get in under here, and I just wanted to prevent any sort of rust from happening. So here's what the front looks like, and it's heavy. This table is heavy, but that's what it looks like. And I will be sanding this down and coating it to prevent rust, just like you would on your table saw, tabletop, or your bandsaw, anything that's got a steel top, your jointer. I'll be preparing that. Now, I could have gone for you can get cast iron tabletops. And the reason I didn't want the cast iron tabletop, they're about twice the weight. The 90 pounds is the weight, around 90 pounds for a cast iron, nice and flat, but 90 pounds. And they're about twice the cost. This cost me about $250. I had a steel company or a metal fabricator, and you know what? There's dozens of them all over North America, probably hundreds of them all over North America. I had them cut out a steel plate. This is 1/4 inch steel plate. They used their water jet, and this is what the water jet looks like. So they used that water jet, and they cut out the center of the router table here. And then of course they eased the edges, and they did such an accurate job here. I just can't believe what a great job they did. And then because it was in a metal shop, I got them to do the welding. I've got a welder. I could have welded that, but it was there, and they didn't charge much more to do that, so I got them to do that. Plus I got them to drill the holes, and again, I could have done that too, but they drilled the holes, and I showed them what screws I want, and that's what I have. Now, one of the reasons I didn't want a 100-pound cast iron top on here because of the weight is because I have this lift on here that uses these air shocks to ride up and down, and you can see I've just taken them out. So I'm hoping the new one, these are going to have enough holding power to hold up the new top, but I might have to put some counterweights on there too. But anyway, I need to take the shocks off before I can take this table off. So I'm just going to carry on with that. Well, there's the moment of truth. And before I do that, let's have a look and see. Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Okay, so there's the top three in there. Now, because I don't have a ton of room underneath here for hardware, like for washers and bolts, what I'm going to do, I am going to use some T-nuts, but I can't put them on while it's laying down. So I put the top three in there. Now I'm going to go ahead now and drill holes and insert the T-nuts in there, because that gives me, here's what a T-nut looks like. If you haven't seen one before, it's a threaded, sort of a threaded sleeve, and it's got some little catches so it doesn't twist. So I'll be able to insert those in there. Okay, the shocks are back on, nice and tight on there, and look at that. They even hold up the steel plate. That's excellent. That's perfect. All right, now the next thing is the table, or the fence rather. So, let me tell you what we're going to do with the fence. So here's my plan for the fence. So there's the back of the fence, obviously, and I really like this fence. It's a split fence. They're a little more difficult to work with because you have this going back and forth, but this one also moves back and forth here. So you really need to make sure that it's aligned, but when it is, it works just great. Now, of course, I don't have slots here to put this on. So what my plan is, I'm going to be using mag switches. If you're not familiar with mag switches, it's a magnet that when you twist it down like this, the magnet drops down inside the casing and it locks on there, and it is super solid on there. Now, the way we can do this, I have a video on this. You can cut a 1 5/8 hole. The problem with a 1 5/8 hole, when you try and turn it, it moves. So you need to put screws in there to hold it. But look, there's a little trick, like a lot of things. If you drill a little bit smaller hole, a couple of 1 3/8 holes, you don't have to put screws in there. You can take that in, put it in, take it out with ease, and you can still lock it down. Now, this thing needs 3/4. It's designed to use at 3/4 of an inch, and when you do that, it locks in there firmly. It is very hard to move, and when I get one in each side here, this is going to be really strong. If I find that 2 isn't enough, I can always put more in. Now I've got these slots here in the back that I'm going to utilize. So what I'm going to do, I have some Gary oak here. It's from the white oak family, super hard, and I'm going to drill a couple of holes in it, and then I'm going to align it with this and drill some holes through the aluminum so that I end up with 3/4 of an inch, so that it's just barely touching the steel deck here, and when I lock that, it's going to be on there firm. Now what I'm going to do, my plan is that I'm going to use contact cement to glue the wood to the aluminum. And contact cement for this is going to be just fine because it really isn't even holding anything. What's really going to be holding it is when the magnet is activated and pushes down, it sort of grabs onto the steel deck. And I'm going to stick that down, and once that's down, I can then go to my drill press and cut out one part on that side and move it over and cut out the other side. I'll still have to do some filing, but I think that's going to be the best solution for me. And I put some marks on there. You might be able to see them where I want to try and keep the glue inside the lines. Okay, that's been about 15 minutes now. And I'm just going to take that and lock that on there. That's good. Take the same here. Well, one of the disadvantages of having a small workshop, you don't always get to see everything that I'm doing. And you can see that I'm at my drill press. I've got my hole saw set up here, and I have a platform here that I've set this up. You're really not going to be able to see anything, but I'm just going to go ahead and drill this hole on this side, and then the little partial hole as well. And then it's going to be tedious sanding, or not sanding, but filing that aluminum out so that it's flush there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. You're not going to be able to see anything anyway. So anyway, when I come back, you'll probably see me filing. Okay, that actually worked out quite well. In fact, I'm surprised how well. And I put that mag switch in there. It seats in perfectly. And I think I may have to take a tiny bit off the wood, but I'm going to try it, but I think it's going to be pretty good. So I'm just going to finish up the other side, and we'll get a chance to try this. Okay, I've just had to do a little bit of polishing on this side here, actually sanding. It was a little proud just on this side. The other side was good here, so let's try that now. I can feel that's locking down there. Oh yeah, I can't even move that. That is excellent. Now I can move this around. I can pivot it if I want. I can put the fence in any position. I don't have to worry about where it's going to go. It'll lock down everywhere. That is just excellent. All right, well, now that I know that fence works, I'm going to put the rest of this back together. I still have to adjust those set screws, but I'll do that later on. Okay. I'm so happy with that. Now comes the real truth here. Is this going to all lift? It's a little harder, but look at that. It's holding. That's great. Oh, that's excellent. I'll still be able to change my bits here. Now, let me show you some of the accessories that I can use that I couldn't use before. So this is just the tip of things. Because I can use magnets on here now, wherever I want to set this fence up, my feather board that I use for my table saw, now I can use that anywhere around here, any width, back and forth. I can use it anywhere on the table. I can even use this vertical feather board again, which was ideally used for the table saw, but now I can use that. I just need to turn that around because the feathers are going the wrong way, but you get the idea anyway. Now I just lock that down on there, and now I've got a feather board that I can will push down, and a feather board that will push into the fence, and I can run product through like that. That's just so excellent. And I don't even know what other accessories I can use in the future, making my own jigs for whatever else in the future. So I am looking forward to using this. This is going to be just excellent. Well, that concludes my video for today. Honestly, I feel like a kid with a new toy today. Very excited about what we can do in the future with this. There, of course, will be a detailed article on Woodwork Web. You'll be able to read all about that. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, I invite you to do that. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm on TikTok now as well, so you'll be able to see me in all those locations. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for following me today.